Hi everybody, Neil Kravitz here. I hope you're enjoying these daily clinical pearls. I received a great question on yesterday's video about Isoglide. So I'd like to share my views on it for today's clinical pearl. Now, Isoglide is a night tie spring to bring in an impacted canine, and I am a huge Isoglide fan. I don't have any financial interest in any products that I would ever talk about or teach about. It's not something that I would ever do, but I always like to share my personal views. Isoglide was invented by Grant Coleman, who is a personal friend, but also just one of the great orthodontists in our profession, and someone that if you're going to support someone and their business, Grant is that person. He is just a genuine soul, and he really invented a great product. So Isoglide is a night tie coil spring. It's very light. It's purchased by the oral surgeon, so the oral surgeons buy Gold Chain, so of course they would buy the Isoglide, and they'll typically upcharge the patient a little bit to cover their expense for it, and they bond it with an L-pop, and will attach it to the arch wire with a Rongier plier. So how I set up those cases is I like to create space. Remember my rule of thumb, create a tooth and a half of space, so 150% canine space. You always need more space than you think. Don't worry if the midlines are lost. Initially, you'll regain them. Open up space on an open coil spring. I like to use a 1725 stainless steel arch wire with an occlusal step down bend that gives more activation for that coil spring. The surgeon will bond the canine, crimp it to that step down plier. They can also move it toward the distal if they need to, and actually crimp it toward the distal of that step down. On that step down, I put a closed coil spring. The coil spring really holds that Isoglide clamp nicely, prevents it from sliding back and forth. And here's the best part, the tooth comes in one visit. So rather than bring the patient in every 2 weeks to reactivate that elastic thread, you simply place the Isoglide spring and that tooth will pop in 1 or 2 visits. It's remarkable. So do I like Isoglide? A resounding yes. So I'm a huge believer in the product and the inventor. So give Isoglide a shot when you have a chance. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to this page. Thank you for supporting the JCO.